The story of the Pied Piper of Hamelin is a lie. We all think we know the tale. A magical piper lures the town's rats into the river. But when the greedy townsfolk refuse to pay him, he comes back and leads their children into a mountain, and they're never seen again. But what if I told you that the oldest memory of this tragedy, from a church window made 700 years ago, told a different story? A story that definitely had a piper and children, but no rats.
Rat.
That window was destroyed in 1660, and maybe, just maybe, someone wanted to erase what really happened to the 130 children of Hamelin. So, what was the truth they were trying to hide? The first record, the lost evidence. For the people of Hamelin, this wasn't just a fairy tale. It was a profound civic trauma they used to mark time. The most important piece of evidence is one we can no longer see. A stained glass window installed in Hamelin's market church around the year 1300. Surviving descriptions tell us it showed a man in colorful clothing leading a group of children. Now, this is where it gets tricky. We don't have a direct quote from the window itself, but later accounts pieced together from descriptions give us this chilling line in the year 1284. On the day of John and Paul, a colorful piper led 130 children away. Notice what's missing? There's no mention of a payment dispute. And crucially, there are absolutely no rats. The rats, the very thing that turns this into a simple fable about keeping your promises, don't seem to show up in the story for nearly 300 years. Around the 1550s, the original window wasn't telling a fairy tale. It was a memorial. It was a testament to a real and devastating loss that haunted the town. Its destruction, whether by accident or on purpose, erased the most vital contemporary visual of the tragedy. The paper trail of a tragedy with the window gone. Our next stop is the paper trail, and the town's own records are disturbingly direct. An entry in the Hamelin Town Chronicle from 1384 has a single, heartbreaking sentence: "It is 100 years since our children left." This isn't folklore. It's a town marking a grim anniversary, defining its calendar by a catastrophic absence. Other documents add to this foundation of fact. A manuscript from Lüneburg dated around E-Sicilien to E-10 gives us more detail, stating that on June 26, 1284, by a piper, clothed in many kinds of colors, 130 children born in Hamelin were seduced and lost at the place of execution near the Kopan. The Kopan, or Koppenberg, is a real hill just outside of town, a specific physical location. Since 55 centuries, the town kept marking this event. It was etched into the very stones of Hamelin. A plaque on a house built in 1602 repeats the core details. The date, June 26th, and the 130 children, led away by a piper in multicolored clothes. A new town gate, built in 1556, was inscribed with a warning that 272 years earlier, magician had led away 130 children. The story was consistent. A date, a number, a man in bright clothing, and a vanishing. The why is what remained a mystery. The cover-up and the truth, so if the rats were a later invention, what were they covering up? Why twist a real tragedy into a folktale? The answer might lie in the simple horror of not knowing. Losing 130 young people without explanation is an unbearable civic trauma. But a story about a vengeful magician who punishes greedy people that offers a lesson? It turns a senseless tragedy into a narrative of cause and effect, making the unbearable just a little bit easier to swallow. Historians have a few non-magical explanations for what might have really happened on June 26, 1284. One of the most prominent theories is that this was part of a massive colonization effort. During this period, recruiters known as locators, who often wore flashy, colorful clothes, traveled through Germany to enlist settlers for new villages in Eastern Europe. It's possible that children were actually the town's youth, who left Hamelin for a better life and simply never came back, a loss that would have felt like a death to the families they left behind. Other theories point to a sudden, tragic accident. Some suggest the children were lost in a landslide or drowned in the nearby Weser River. Another chilling possibility is a sudden epidemic, not the Black Death, which came later, but some other swift and brutal disease. In that scenario, the piper becomes a terrifying personification of death, with his colorful clothes, perhaps representing the mottled rashes of sickness. So what can we say for sure? It seems almost certain that something terrible happened in Hamelin. The town lost 130 of its children on a specific summer day, the story we all know today, with its rats and broken promises. Looks like a 300-year-old narrative glossa, cover-up designed to make an unspeakable tragedy make sense. The original story, memorialized in that lost stained glass window, told a simpler and far more terrifying tale, not of magic, but of a sudden, unexplained, and permanent loss. The truth may have been so painful that the town itself slowly rewrote it, burying a devastating reality beneath a fairy tale. What do you think really happened to the children of Hamlin? Let me know your theories in the comments below.